Hey guys, welcome to the channel and another video. Today I'm going to be watching Collateral by Michael Mann, starring Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx. Michael Mann is a great director and I've watched a bunch of his films over the years and I've reviewed two on the channel, Heat and The Last of the Mohicans. Both were great films. This movie stars Cruise and Foxx. I'm a big fan of their work. They're obviously huge megastars. I've heard of Collateral before. In fact, there's a story behind the film. Please don't hate me. When it first came out in 2004, I believe I went to watch it with a couple of friends, or was it cousins? I don't recall, but what I do remember is about 15 minutes into the film, a bunch of people from the group, they felt bored and wanted to leave, so we did exactly that. We left. Apparently, they wanted a straight-up action film. That's what they were expecting, and this was way too slow for them. Again, this was in my teens. Anyway, I always wanted to come back, to watch the film, but somehow 15 years have gone by, and here we are today. What I do know is Fox plays a cab driver, and Cruise is a villain or an anti-hero type character. 15 years ago, I did not know it was directed by Michael Mann. I did not know how big Michael Mann was, but knowing this now, that would explain the slower pacing of the film, at least in the first 15 minutes. It's because he likes building his characters, he takes his time, and I guess that's what I'm expecting now, a slower paced, well-written action thriller movie. But before we get into it, to help support the channel, I have a Patreon page for full-length reviews and reactions to this movie and over 170 movies, 2 TV shows, early access, and weekly polls for what to watch next. You'll need your own copy to watch along. The link's in the description below, by the way. Please consider being a patron. Please subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon for instant notifications. Do check out my other videos. Like if you liked this video, dislike it if you didn't. With all that being said, let's get started. Collateral, Mann, Cruise, Foxx. Let's go. It's been a while since I've seen a good Tom Cruise film. I think the last thing I've seen from him was a Mission Impossible movie, which are surprisingly good nowadays, huh? Holy crap, Jason Statham.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine, mate. Don't worry about it.
I did not know he was in the film. Or, again, I watched it like in 2004, which is 16, 17 years ago almost. They switched bags. And Jamie Foxx. And we know he plays a cab driver. I like that sound editing right there. I also like the visual storytelling here by Michael Mann.
It's enhanceable because of fires in the early 80s.
Oh, wow, okay. Jada Pinkett Smith.
Take Sepulveda to Slauson to La Brea. Take La Brea north to 6 into downtown.
We'll take the 105 east to the 110, that's faster.
The 110 north of the 10, you get people driving to Pasadena, and they drive slow.
Yeah, they do, but what I do is I get off on Grand.
Are we taking bets?
I don't think I'm gonna be wrong, but if I am, the ride's free.
Michael Mann loves his night shots of the city.
Go ahead, say it.
Tell me what?
Go ahead.
Oh, I got lucky with the lights.
You weren't lucky with the lights. What you were was right. I was wrong. You know, if you had just listened to me, we'd be all bogged down in traffic right now, and you would have made yourself an extra $5.
Yeah, when you get that $5, buy you something special.
Okay, they're building a rapport.
How many cabbies do you know get you into an argument to save you money?
There were 2 of us. I had to kill the other one. I don't like competition.
And a sense of humor.
How do you like being a lawyer?
What are you, psychic?
A little bit. You, Clarence Darrow.
Well, no, not quite. He worked defense. I'm a prosecutor.
Oh, big case?
Yeah.
This is almost like romantic music. These are some gorgeous shots, honestly. And the song selection hasn't been bad either.
Got us here fast.
Of course. You like what you do?
Yeah.
But not today. You need a vacation.
I just had a vacation on the Harbor Freeway.
No, not in the cab. I mean, you need to get your head straight.
When was the last time you took a break?
I go on a vacation all the time.
How often?
A dozen times a day. My favorite spot.
Right, that picture.
Things get heavy for me, I take 5 minutes out, and I just go there.
That's some good advice.
Take
Oh
it.
no, I couldn't do that.
Take it because you need it a lot more than I do.
She likes him. Yeah, that look. It shows a lot of Jamie Foxx's character.
I don't know, in case you ever want to investigate her.
Good for you, Max. Yeah, and now I'm thinking she's probably important to the plot. This is a very different look for Tom Cruise. I don't think I've seen him with white hair before. The same cab. Right, they have to get together. That's kind of obvious.
Oh, whoa. Hey, yeah, come on, man, I'm sorry.
How long do you think this will take?
7 minutes.
7. Not 8, not 6. What do I get if you're wrong? A free ride?
You get an apology. I already offered her my free ride today.
To who?
Some girl. First time in LA?
Tell you the truth, whenever I'm here, I can't wait to leave. I read about this guy who gets on the MTA here. Dies. 6 hours he's riding the subway before anybody notices his corpse doing laps around.
Well, it is a big city.
This is just temporary.
How long you been driving?
12 years.
12 years. Temporary. It's interesting how Michael Mann is framing Tom Cruise's character very close up.
I'm in town on a real estate deal. Closing one night. I got 5 stops to make. Collect signatures, see some friends, and then I got a 6 a.m. out of LAX. Why don't you hang with me? Here's 300 down. What's your name?
Max.
Max. I'm Vincent.
All right.
This is not going to end well, is it?
Oh, no!
What the fudge?
What the hell? Damn it. My man, you all right?
My man, you alright?
He fell from up there on the motherfucking cab.
Well, I'm guessing
I think he's dead.
Vincent had something to do with it. He doesn't seem bothered by it at all.
Red light, Max.
Hold on.
They took a very serious turn. So fast.
I can't do this.
Grab his wrist.
Well,
Let's go. Hey, why don't you just take the cab? I'll chill.
Get in the fucking car. Get in the car.
dude. Now I'm thinking he's a hitman. Because I don't think he had any remorse or anything like that. I love how Michael Mann shows violence. It's always in your face. And it's... Dude, that's Mark Ruffalo! This is why I like films that don't show the credits at the beginning. Because you don't know who to expect. I just have to point out the music is just fantastic.
This is Detective Fanny Narcotics.
Detective.
7565 found, you know it?
You said you had to go visit some friends.
Somebody's friends. What?
What did he do to you?
Nothing, I only met him tonight.
You just met him once and you kill him like that?
What, I should only kill people after I get to know them?
He is a hitman.
Pull over to the right.
Shit.
He's probably married. Maybe that one has kids. Probably his wife's pregnant.
Way to ramp up the tension, Michael Mann.
Hey, is this blood up here on your windshield?
I hit a deer.
You step out the vehicle. You too. Come on.
If you open that trunk, they go inside.
You know what, man, it's been a long night.
The tension is palpable.
All available precinct 26 units respond over.
Hey, partner, we gotta roll.
Roger. In or out. Go straight to the garage. Have a nice night, sir.
Close call. Dude.
Hey!
I mean, yeah, that's not the worst idea, I guess.
You all tied up in there. Yeah, I'm trapped, so let's get me out of here so we can call the cops. You give me the fuck. I'll fuck you up. Don't shoot, man. Get your ass up.
His luck.
That my briefcase?
Your briefcase? Yeah, it is. Huh?
Dude, those sound effects were insane. This is not a slow movie. I mean, it started off a little slow, but things just ramped up to 11.
You attract attention, you're gonna get people killed who didn't need to be.
Okay, we're cutting back to law enforcement now.
Foreman years. What's his name? Ramon?
Ramon Ayala.
Maybe he jumped.
Sure, he's depressed, so he jumps 4 stories out of a window onto his head. Wow, that feels better. Picks himself up. Now I think I'll go on with the rest of my day. Cabby drove around all night, killed 3 people, then put the gun to his head.
Yeah, the guy flipped out, so what?
Anyway, that detective always thought there was someone else in that cab.
He's done this before, and the cabbie got blamed for it.
Who is that on the trumpet?
That's Daniel, baby. He's the owner.
Is he a target? I mean, what I found interesting is we did not get to see the 2 kills. We only got to see the aftermath.
July 22nd, 1964. Who do you think walks the head down? Bye, baby. Miles Davis.
Miles Davis.
I gotta tell the people in Coolacan and Cartagena that story.
Oh no, look at the change of expression. He knows he's in trouble.
You know the folks in Culiacan and Cartagena?
Afraid so.
Afraid so.
If I walk out of here tonight, I will go so far away, it'll be just like I was dead.
Where did Miles learn music?
I know everything there is to know about Miles.
Then let's have it.
Music school.
Sent Miles to Juilliard School
Oh.
of Music, New York, 1945.
Dude, he was wrong? I mean, I don't know the answer, but holy crap.
Tripped out of Juilliard after less than a year, tracked down Charlie Parker on 52nd Street, who mentored him for the next 3 years.
Oh.
Max?
Leave me alone. I'm Collateral.
I'm Collateral anyway. Name dropping the film.
I'm not playing.
Your mother's calling every 10 minutes. Why didn't he show? Are you all right? Where are you?
Flowers?
Waste of money won't mean a thing to her.
She carried you in her womb for 9 months.
You're the one to talk. You just took like 4 lives.
5, thanks.
Dude. What is Mark Ruffalo's character doing at the same hospital?
By worrying they should spend money on stuff that's just gonna wilt and die. You paid for my flowers? They're beautiful.
That's funny.
Tell my son you have to hold a gun to his head and make him do anything.
If only she knew.
Limousine companies. He drives famous people around.
Oh no, he's been lying to his mother. Dude, what are you doing? Oh man. Okay, that computer is destroyed. I would say he just killed himself by doing that, but we still have an hour left to go, so how does that work out?
How am I representing?
He did that so he could prevent the next murders?
2 in the sternum, 1 in the head.
Execution.
Sylvester Clark, criminal attorney turned lawyer criminal. Including Ramon, who he represented, who's still missing, the both of whom are in the exotic substances business together.
Drugs.
Yeah, right. Maybe she hears what you tell her.
Whatever I tell her is never good enough anyway. It's always been in that way.
Oh, I guess that's relatable on some level. I have to admit that Cruz is doing an excellent job in portraying a straight-up villain.
People inside. Go in and ask for Felix.
He's being sent in to get the rest of the names because he destroyed the laptop.
If I don't pull it off, then
They will kill you.
how long you been doing this?
Why?
Just in case they ask me.
Private sector, 6 years.
Okay.
Private sector, 6 years. So far, Vincent has been in control of almost every situation he's been in.
I'm here to see Felix. He has something for me.
Oh, no, Felix. Can you zoom in on this, please?
On what?
On that.
Oh man. Michael Mann really likes to use color in his films. In Last of the Mohicans, it was predominantly reds and oranges. In Heat, it was predominantly blues. Dude, it's Javier Bardem! Holy crap! Another huge actor.
Are you telling me Ramon Ayala and Clark were murdered tonight, both killed?
They're all connected.
Through what?
witnesses.
I knew it, they're witnesses.
Sorry, that's not put Humpty Dumpty back together again. If one day Pedro came into his office and said, I lost the list, how fucking furious do you think he will get?
Pretty effing furious.
I picked up a tail.
Federal?
I don't know. You tell me.
Dude is improvising.
That's why I tossed the list. The workups, all of that shit.
I love this scene, his acting, his change in demeanor.
The fat man, the penthouse guy, the jazz man.
They even got Vincent's name.
The last two.
Si algo sale mal, te lo quiebras desde que lo agarren.
Well, that's to be expected. I'm really enjoying this film so far.
6th Street by Alexandria, club called Fever.
So you're telling me the guy walks into a phone booth and Shazam changes into a meat-eater super assassin?
Thank you for thinking rationally.
What if these guys are wrong?
They got the guy admitting his name is Vincent.
He's going to go do his own investigation. Yeah, but that makes me even more scared for Ruffalo's character. Nice. Michael Mann is an expert in these set-piece action sequences. Who could forget that opening robbery sequence from Heat? I think I recognize this voice. Is this Chris Cornell? And yeah, I guess it is a slower paced action film, but that doesn't mean it's not filled with tension. And this is another film with shaky cam done right. I don't mean to hate on Zack Snyder, but he doesn't do shaky cam very well. At least that's my opinion. I got a lot of hate for it saying it before, but it's still my opinion. Looks like Lim has a lot of private security around him. Hanging around a club when you're a witness to probably a high-profile crime, that's not very smart. Oh no, wait! He saved him.
I know. I'm getting you out of here. I'm LAPD. Come on.
Oh. Peter is dead. Same exact MO. 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. Oh, I did not see that coming. So Ruffalo's character is dead just like that?
No, drive!
Oh man, somehow I think Max will get blamed for this entire situation, won't he?
Do I get any thanks? No. All you can do is clam up.
He believed me.
Oh, I should have saved him because he believed you.
No, not that.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, that. What's wrong with that? They would have to kill your ass because you don't know what anyone else is thinking. And why haven't you killed me yet?
That's the main question here.
Someday my dream will come. One night you'll wake up and you'll discover it never happened.
That's a reality check.
What the fuck are you still doing driving a cab?
I mean, I don't think he has an answer to that.
Slow down.
It's got to be perfect. It's got to be perfect. It's a go. Risk all, torque down.
What are you doing? Oh man, I think he's taking back control of the situation.
Slow down!
Right.
I mean, you can push somebody to their limits, and I think this is Max's limit. That was an amazing stunt.
That was brilliant.
Didn't have my seatbelt on.
He's a lucky man. If he had his gun, he would have just executed Max just like that. They see the dead body. Oh my goodness.
Put your hands up.
I forgot about the body. I completely forgot about it.
1L20, I need a back.
Annie Farrell. Holy crap. I knew she was important to the story. She's the final target. She's the final hit.
Give me that.
Did he grab the card? I think so.
Pick up.
He's already in the building, and that key card suggests that he killed the guard.
There's a man named Vincent. He's coming to kill you.
She's not going to buy it. Dude. I think you should keep moving, Max. Get closer to the building. Her cell phone being here suggests that she's around here somewhere. He sees them.
Okay, I'm leaving the building right now.
No, wait. He's 2 floors below you, corner office.
I can't hear you. Hello?
Annie, listen to me.
Dude, he loves his aerial shots. That's the security guard. Dude, this just turned into a straight up horror film. Yeah, I really love these darker shots. Lights of the city in the background. And it's not like one of those films where the hitman or killer calls out to the victim, come out, wherever you are. It's just ruthless efficiency.
Let her go.
Oh, he's here.
Max? Why? What are you gonna do about it?
Dude, I think he shot his ear off.
Max!
Knowing Cruz, he's doing all of his own stunts. That man is a little cuckoo in the head when it comes to doing his own stunts. He has to make a choice, up or down. He's on the train. Oh man! I don't even have words at this point. What do you do? You guys are trapped like rats in the corner. It's do or die, my man. Oh, they have no ammo. So it's going to be a hand-to-hand combat scene? He got shot, didn't he? Oh, he's shot. He's dead. It's so anticlimactic. I mean, well, not really, but you get my point.
Guy gets on the MTA here in LA, dies.
What a great callback. He said this earlier.
Think anybody will notice?
Oh, just like that. Yeah, whoever thought this was a slow film, they didn't watch this movie through. They're so wrong. Well, he died alone in the end. There is no redemption for him, and I like that. I think that's one of the best aspects of the film. They did not try to change Cruz's character, Vincent. And the film ends here, which I find is another parallel with Heat. That film also ended at dawn. It's almost like a new day is starting. Can't believe I didn't watch, at least give it a chance before. Okay, I took some time to collect my thoughts. First off, that was intense. What a great film. Although the pacing was in fact a little slow, it was full of tension. Michael Mann's direction was great. The soundtrack was on point. The performances were stellar, and the editing, cinematography, and camera work were excellent too. The only weaknesses I can think of was number one, I had a hard time following one particular sequence in the movie, the scene at the Fever Club where Peter Lim's character got killed, but apart from that, it was all good. I also thought Mark Ruffalo's character was a little underdeveloped, and I wanted to see more of his investigations, or at least more of the investigative side of the film, if that makes any sense. Anyways, let's start with the directing by Michael Mann and the screenplay by Stuart Beatty. Please correct me if my pronunciation is wrong. The writer here did an excellent job with the script, and although the story wasn't super original, let's say, I have to admit that the way it was presented, that was original. The story starts off slow, in typical Michael Mann fashion, with the introduction of Max, the cab driver, and I really like the fact that he was in focus for the first, 20 minutes? Mann spent quite some time in building his character and showing his little quirks. He seemed to be a man stuck in a rut, saving for a dream, his limo business, even lying to his own mother to show that he's somewhat successful. After he drops off Annie, a district attorney, while also getting her number in the process. Nice. He picks up Max, who offers him $600 for 5 stops in the night, and the story starts from there. Initially, they build up a good rapport, but everything changes with the body falling on the cab. There was a running theme in the movie of going with the flow, adapting to whatever situation you're in. The idea is introduced to to Max by Vincent, who takes it to heart later in the film, like in the scene where he meets Javier Bardem's Felix. The way he improvises and changes his demeanor, great acting there. There were quite a few parallels to Heat. I think both were set in LA, both films, they were set mostly during the night. It also ended in a similar way at dawn. A lot of the camera work were similar, like the aerial shots, and also almost featuring the city of LA itself as a secondary character. I also like the running idea of life being short and taking chances wherever you can. This was reflected in Vincent's dialogue several times, and I think at the end of the day, Max did learn a lot from him. Speaking of Vincent, he was played excellently by Tom Cruise. That dude is a veteran actor, and I don't believe I've seen him in a purely antagonistic role before. If you have any other antagonist Tom Cruise roles, please let me know in the comments. I have to admit, he really pulled it off. He was shown to be an almost sociopath, but the best thing about his character was the fact that he was completely unchanged by the end. A lot of writers or directors would have probably tried to justify his actions in some way or even make him a little sympathetic, but there was none of that here. He was a bad guy. From the first scene to the last, he was a straight-up assassin with almost zero empathy. He's here for the job and he's going to do it. I liked how very little of his past was revealed, increasing the mystery factor. I think the only 2 things we actually get to know about him was the fact that he came from an abused childhood and he was working in the private sector for about 6 years, implying that he was probably ex-military. Mark Ruffalo's Fanning, was it? Anyways, that character was acted very well, but I thought he was a little underdeveloped. I really was invested in his investigations till he was suddenly killed off outside the Fever Club, and we kind of forget about it. As a matter of fact, I don't think after Fanning was killed, Mann doesn't even focus on the law enforcement storyline. He kind of abandons it. I think a few more scenes of their investigation, or at least some kind of aftermath, would have helped the script, because I did feel like the story just ended abruptly. The best performance, easily the best performance, was from Jamie Foxx's Max. He was a complex character, and we see his change over the course of the night. He really took a lot of things Vincent said to heart. By the end, he was repeating lines said earlier by Vincent, which I very much enjoyed. Some of the callbacks were really well done. Foxx really embodied Max's character. As the audience saw things from his perspective, the whole story. His breaking point was also very interesting. I think that scene where he crashes his cab intentionally really showed that change, taking charge of his life. That was great. I think it was at this point he overcame all his fears, and it was because of this incident he gathered the courage to try and save Annie by the end. Great job in the writing, directing, and acting department. The cinematography of the movie was great, very typical of Mann's style, with gorgeous shots of LA at night, especially those aerial shots of the cars, and very close-up, shaky camera work and focus on the actors' faces. I mean, when you have heavy hitters like Cruise or Foxx, you just want to point the camera at them and let them do their thing, because they're great at what they do. The editing was also on point, as I felt like I almost had no trouble in following the plot, except that one Fever Club scene where everything was all very chaotic and just things were happening all at once. But apart from that, great job in the cinematography and editing department too. The soundtrack of the movie was a particular highlight for me, as I recognized a couple of songs, including Chris Cornell's voice. He was a legendary singer. I think that was a Audio Slave song though. Other than that, most if not all of the song choices were perfectly used, but then again, Michael Mann really knows how to use music in his films. The sound design was top-notch too, especially the gunshots, the crashing noises, and the ambient sounds that make LA such a lively and vibrant city, even by night. I don't think I've heard a ton of original compositions for this movie, but from what little I heard, I kind of liked it. As I mentioned, my criticism of that editing issue in the Fever club scene and the underdeveloped police storyline, overall, Collateral was a top-tier action thriller starring Cruise and Foxx. Both their performances were award-worthy. The direction by Michael Mann was almost perfect. The soundtrack and cinematography were almost of the highest caliber. Just the fact that Vincent wasn't redeemed by the end elevated this film from good to great. Although I wouldn't say the story was super original, I would say it was executed to near perfection, especially Max's character arc. This was another notch in the great career of Michael Mann. Which Michael Mann film should I watch next? Do let me know in the comments. Anyways, thank you for watching. I have a Patreon page. Consider me a patron. Subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon for instant notifications. Do check out my other videos. Like if you liked this video, dislike it if you didn't. I will see you in the next one. Bye.